stay above the fold. Now, when it comes to mobile, I'll show you in a second, don't worry about the fold, but on desktop, definitely stay above the fold. As you can see here, we've got a nice Gourmet Society campaign. Let me know, there's a bit of a discount at the top, but other than that, just generic content coming down. But below the fold, they had this beautiful voucher. Now, that voucher to me should have been at the top. That's what I wanted to see, that's what I want to know. So keep your call to actions above the fold. As I mentioned with mobile, natural process is scrolling. So don't worry about going below the fold when it goes to mobile optimizing. Scrolling is a natural experience for the recipient. So as you can see, they'll naturally scroll down and view your campaign to see all of your content. So if you have any more questions about that, honestly, come and find me at StanD25, or there might be a spare 5 minutes afterwards if you have any questions about anything shown so far. Now, who's familiar with pre-header text? Okay, for those of you who go mobile, will probably be more familiar with this. And what it is, it's actually like a secondary subject line. Okay, so think of it a way of getting more information in the inbox. And it works all major clients, and especially on your mobile devices. Studies say that it can get you an extra 10% open rate. Okay, so pre-header text, all it is the first bit of usable text in your campaign. Now, who's familiar with the concept of live text? Good. So what we've got here is we've got a nice B2C campaign, which is made up of images. However, if it hits my inbox, I see that. So I have no idea what's going on. Now, there's a lot of companies who do a lot of clever stuff with live text. So, here's an example of Pizza Express. You can still get the message of what's in the campaign using alt text, background colors on the table cells. It's all about planning your build before you actually start building. And here's another example. So we've got here about slicing artwork to create something that looks similar for when the images are off and on. Okay? Obviously, not everyone's going to have time to do that, or the next example, but it's good to do, especially if it's a key piece of information. Now, it's lunchtime, so I'm sorry if this makes you hungry. For those of you who aren't hungry by that, don't blame you. McDonald's still made it look like there was 2 burgers there and showed that their logo was at the top with an M in a red box and everything. Okay, so the message isn't hidden or anything like that, it's clear in both ways. Now, last but not least, there was a Mother's Day campaign that came out from Ask, and when the images were switched off, they went into a lot of detail and created that. Now, I feel sorry for the designer who done that and stuff, but great effect, definitely gets the message across and looks attractive with the images on and off. So, copywriting. So, now we've got our subject lines in place, we're happy with them. We've got our layout right and everything. Now the actual text itself. Now, back to our previous example, you can't make sense of what that is. You know, there's too much text going on, you can't differentiate between key bits of information too well or anything. However, this NHS smoke-free campaign, please note I'm not a smoker and it's not thanks to this, I just never was. You can see everything is clear. So let's analyse this in more detail. So firstly, clear branding. Obviously, branding is important. If people open up your email, you want them to know it's from you. Next, the title. So the main title, clear, concise, in your face. Subheadings, so if you're scanning through, you know what each section's about. And short paragraphs. Now, I don't like having full stories in an email. I love it when there's just a nice little read full story button, and that takes me through if I want more information about it. A nice little visual list for when the images are downloaded, and a contextual-based call to action. So who's familiar with contextual-based call to actions? Nope, that's fine, we'll go through them shortly. So, call to actions. Your call to action is key in getting people to actually come through to your website or download your PDF and everything like that. Now, as you can see, I mentioned before about keeping clear your actual message and your call to action is above the fold. Okay, so on mobile, don't worry too much. Desktop, definitely try to keep them above the fold. So we've got here the contextual call to action. So no context, your click here's, read more's, more info, and downloads. Generic doesn't tell you much about the button. So think about the action that the subscriber takes. So they want to view the menu. They want to book today, reserve a seat, or download the email guide. Okay? Tells you exactly what it is. They don't need to read all the story beforehand, they just know. Now there's two ways of doing your actual call to actions. You've got bulletproof and your standard. So who's familiar with the term bulletproof? Okay, this involves using excess code in your actual campaigns and HTML. So as you can see with the images on, the bulletproof and the image-based look exactly the same. Images off, bulletproof remains. Okay, so you can find simple conversion tools to bulletproof your buttons easily, and you can style them how you see fit as well, and they work in all major email clients. So the multi-call to action. So what do we mean by this? Well, how do you rate our service? Within an email. Saves having someone to go to a form. No one likes a form, especially if they're long-winded in their feedback. However, something like this, where you simply click a number that gives the feedback, and that's it. Within the email, keeps it simple. So there's one there from Virgin that I used in March. And we've got one here about rating the Ocado driver, and Amazon also do it with their stars. Okay, nice and simple. Simply use a track link, let you know what everyone clicked on. Now, test and proof. So this is probably, key in everything. We're all human, we make mistakes, so testing and proofing is a big part of email marketing. So not email client, let me rephrase that. Not all email clients are equal. So you have here Apple Mail with a nice campaign looking. However, lovely Outlook decides to do that with it. So I'm sure this has happened to probably a number of people, and you have to play around with whips and everything. So it's good to set up your own sort of test environment. So there's a lot of free test clients out there that you can use, that you can create, and it allows you to then test your campaigns that render correctly. Otherwise, see if your email provider actually has a content rendering tool where you can automatically test to these providers straight away at a click of a button. Proofreading. So you probably notice a couple of typos on here straight away. So we've obviously missed out the F in offer. Bit of an embarrassing typo there. Obviously a space bar and embrace. So proofreading is always good. It's better to get a second set of eyes over it. Make sure your content is legible, clear, and the message isn't missed. So now we come out to the more fun stuff. Okay, so next generation email, making you stand out from the crowd. Video in email. Now this is not a new concept, but it uses HTML5, which is relatively new. Now it helps create dynamic emails and falls back to a static image anyway if the video can't be displayed, so you still have a safety net, and delivers a clear message. However, it only works in Apple Mail, if I'm honest with you. So your iPhones and your Macs is where this is going to work. So what we could do is basically have a look at this example where Litmus have incorporated it. So as you can see on the left, the video is there. Otherwise, on the right, it just falls back to a static. So with the majority of the mobile market still with the iPhone and iPad, still might be useful to incorporate if you have a big enough mobile data list. Rollover images. So this is definitely new, and I'm assuming no one's used this in their campaigns. Good. So, ideal for both B2C and B2B communications, and works with most email clients, and allows you to create compelling content to keep engagement there. Gmail and Outlook 2007 onwards don't accept this, and when it comes to the image gallery, I'll explain why in a bit more detail. Obviously increases the size of your email because you're including more images. Mobile devices will require a tap because they can't use the hover feature. So how does this look? So here's a nice little dress. You hover over it in the desktop, and it shows you the back of the dress. Now, I'm not sexist or anything, but it was just a good example that we was able to create, and it allows you to see the full benefit of what you can get. Whereas on mobile, you simply just tap a button and it shows the front and then shows the back. So what can we do with this knowledge? We can actually create an image gallery. Now, one company has actually done this, B&Q. I don't know if anyone knows about that. And it created a storm on the social media. So if you can incorporate this in any way, be some good publicity as well. Similar to the image gallery with regards to the pros and cons. So the technical side of it, it uses div tags. Now, for those of you who know HTML, div tags aren't widely supported, hence why Gmail and Outlook don't on the list basically. And what it does, it allows you to create the whole gallery and use the CSS to move the positions to show the content. So how does this work in the actual end product? Here's what B&Q did. So pretty impressive and very effective at getting a message across. And a travel client done it this way to showcase their hotel. Okay, so creates compelling content, will help improve your engagement. Obviously has limitations like with anything modern, but that's just email in general at the moment. Now, another little feature which not everyone incorporates is the tap to call. So does anyone actually use this in their current campaigns? A couple of people, good. So very useful for both sides of email marketing. Works with all email clients and really, really simple to implement. All it is, you have your call to action, you're simply tapping it on a mobile device, allows you to do a one-click call rather than copying a number or missing a number that's hidden in your footer somewhere. So now some email marketing tactics for you all. So let's start off with B2B. So here's some 4 tactics for you. 1 is lead nurturing, so we're going to go into this in more detail. 2, integrate, segment and target. Sales alert notifications and personalize. So lead nurturing is the process of building relationships with qualified prospects regardless of their timing to buy. So whether they're a new subscriber or have recently just purchased, with the goal of making sure they're ready to buy at a stage that you depict. So why do we need it? Companies that use lead nurturing experience a 45% lift in lead generation ROI, which, as I mentioned before, gives 50% more sales-ready leads at a third of the lower costs. Okay, so it's very cost-effective. So how does this work? It's a simple process for a typical sales lead nurturing. Okay, so you plan this using automation. So everyone loves a bit of automation in their email marketing. It takes the workload of us. You get your introductory email, and then 2 days later, you create a campaign and send it based upon clicks within the introductory email. This then obviously allows you to sort of segment a bit further, and they get a personal email from the lead owner, or using personalization, make it seem like a personal email, before getting a direct call from that lead owner, just to push them a bit further down the process. They then get an email promoting the objective, which is what they're looking to purchase, before a personal email again using personalization, offering a demonstration of that product. They then get a call from the sales requesting a meeting before sending over the proposal, and you've got them signed and they've got the product or service that you're looking to promote. Okay, so as you can see with this, it doesn't have to be a 17-day thing. It can be a week, it could be a month, it could be 6 months. It's entirely up to you. You depict the journey time, but it just allows you to get people ready and using automation so that you don't have to do much work yourselves. So integrate, segment and target. So here's a host of sort of major players in the CRM systems, which currently integrate with Campaign Master. So you get your email marketing platform, integrate it with a CRM. So some people might have a CRM and it might just be a back-end database using SQL or an API as well, so you can use that. And then we look to segment and being able to target these people. So is anyone familiar with the concept of triggers? Yeah? So for those of you who are not, you're going to use triggers to do this, okay? And the trigger is an action that's based upon recipient behavior, whether it's an open or a click or anything like that. So we've got our call to action here, which has been clicked on. And what happens is that then goes onto the track link, so we know that person's clicked. We then update a database field with the value of interested in HTML. So as you see, it's contextual-based call to action, so it makes it relevant, whilst at the same time sending them off to the relevant landing page. So now you know a bit more information on them. Is it this? Is it this, do you think? Okay. Okay, so you know a bit more information about these people, so you can now send them a targeted email, okay? And obviously with a targeted email, gives you a better response, makes it so that the recipient thinks you know more about them, and makes them more inclined to engage and read. So sales alert notifications. So we get this, we have someone requests a demo from the Campaign Master website, this gets sent through to the sales team. So what it does, is it's pre-populated with the sign-up details, so all the information is there for the sales guys. Allows an immediate follow-up because the notification is instant, it's not delayed by 24 hours or anything like that. It's fully customizable, so you can make it into a full campaign, and can only be sent to any email address of choice, so it can be a generic inbox or a new lead owner. So personalizing. Now we done a survey and 74% of marketers knew about personalization, but only 19% actually adopted it in their campaigns. Now personalizing can get you great results and it's very simple to do. So let's have a look at what we mean by personalizing. So typical here, account manager email. So we've got 2 email addresses, you have 2 different account managers, and we want the campaign to look like it's a personal email from their account manager. So we use personalization. So when John and Phil receive their campaigns, they look like they're from Mary and, I can't see the other name from here, but it looks personalised, more inclined to open it because they have a relationship with that person. So by industry, these are the sort of unique open rates you can look to expect. So as an average, you can look to get around 26%. Obviously, it does depend upon your list and the type of campaign that you're sending out as well. And if you look at the click-through rates, as you can see, so from email subject and body personalisation, so personalising both, you're actually looking to get the best results, okay? So you can't go OTT with your personalisation, more the merrier. So let's have a look at some inspirational ideas for B2C. We've got an automated reminder on offer, discount after email sign-up, unique voucher codes and track engagement, and dynamic content, which is always everyone's favourite. So let's start off with the automated reminder on offer. So I received this from Prezos, and it let me know of a discount, but allowed me to set a reminder of when I want to actually use this. So at the time I didn't want to go, but actually next week I might be inclined to go on a lunch date and actually make the most of this discount. So remind me next week. Okay, so it helps keep the relevancy, very simple to implement, and increases the potential ROI that you can get from your campaigns. So this is always a nice sense of reward, a discount after email sign up. So someone's given you their information, and to be honest, I'm always reluctant to give an email address. If I think I'm going to get sent campaigns, I have 2 different types of email addresses, one for generic, one for my actual proper needs. By getting a reward, it actually gives me a sense, that my data is valued. So, I'm more inclined to actually give it. So by offering that, and when they actually sign up, you give them a discount afterwards, allows this to happen, basically. So unique voucher codes, obviously this is like deep tracking. So when you set up a funnel in your Google Analytics and things like that, it allows you to fully track your engagement and get the full ROI that you know you're going to get. Okay, makes people feel special as well. You're actually doing a bit more effort and time for them. Now we come on to dynamic content. So what we have here is we have our campaign, and we're actually going to send it to a subscriber list. So we have our default content for people we don't fully know about. We then have subscriber type A, B, and C, who will all get different content. So how does this work in actual practice? We've got 2 people here who are both signing up to our events campaigns. However, one's based in London, one's based in Scotland. So obviously someone in Scotland is not going to travel all the way to London for a little event that they've just signed up to, and vice versa. So we can use dynamic content to show products that are relevant for that location. And this is how it would look. Okay, so they get the information that they need that's relevant to their location. Once again, geographical localization is always beneficial in your campaigns, as we mentioned in the personalization. So do include it. And yeah. Now, dynamic content, for those who do use it, saw a greater uplift than those who don't in actual conversions. Okay? Because it's more relevant content, increases your engagement, allows you to really maximize your ROI. So that's the end of the talk. Does anyone have any questions or anything?